Hello everyone, this is my fourth lecture. In the last lecture we have discussed about limited design method. Okay, so in this lecture we will study about some contents of structural steel fasteners and connections. So in this lecture we will cover these contents only. So first we will see what is connection and its types. Then we will see about bolted connection, and in bolted connection we will study about bolt, its types, then classification of bolts based on load transfer mechanism, and meaning of property class or grade of bolt. So then first we will study about connection. So normally a steel structure is formed by joining several steel members. Okay, so different members of steel structure are required to be joined to one another at either their ends or at some intermediate length in order to facilitate the transmission of member forces, which is known as connection. Okay, so let's take an example of a truss. Here I am drawing a truss. Okay, you know that truss is also an example of steel structure. So here is a truss. Okay, and these are some individual steel members, and these members are joined and connected to form a structure of truss. Okay, so this is the steel member 1 and this is the steel member 2. These two steel members are connected at their ends. Okay, and here you can see here you can see this is the steel member 1 and this is the and this is the steel member 3. Okay, and the steel member 1 and 3 are connected at some intermediate length. Okay, so in this way several steel members are connected or joined together to form a structure. Okay, so the means by which the steel members are connected to form a structure, that is known as connection. Okay, and then how we will do the connection between the members. Okay, so let's take a simple example. This is a thread and this is another thread. Someone will tell you to join these two threads. Okay, so we generally what we will do, we will simply tie these threads. Okay, tie these threads to join these two threads. Okay, so the method of tying of these two thread is a type of connection. Okay, or is a type of way to join these two threads. So in case of steel member also, some connectors or fasteners are used for joining of the steel members. So in steel structures there are 4 types of fasteners which are used for making the connection between the members. So first one is bolts, then second one is weld, then third one is rivet, then fourth one is pin. Okay, so these 4 type of connectors or fasteners are used for making the connection in case of steel structure. Then based on means of connection there are 4 types of connection. So first one is bolted connection, second one is welded connection, third one is riveted connection, and fourth one is pin connections. Okay, and there are 2 connections in your syllabus. Okay, so bolted connection and welded connection, these two connections are there in your syllabus. So we will study about these 2 connections only. So first we will study about the bolted connection, then after the completion of the bolted connection we will study about the welded connection. Okay, so let's start bolted connection. So in this bolted connection, first we will see about bolt. So a bolt is a metal pin with a head at one end and a shank threaded at other end to receive a node. You all must have seen a bolt and know about the bolted connection. So here is a bolt, it is the bolt head, it is the shank, this plain part is the shank part of the bolt, and this is the threaded part of the bolt, and this is the knot. Okay, and these and the length of the threaded part, and the length of the threaded part is the thread length, and the length of the shank part is the grip length, and the total length is the nominal length. Okay, so this is the head, so this is the head, this is the shank part of the bolt, and this is the threaded part of the bolt, and this is the knot. Okay, this is the grip length and thread length and the nominal length. So the cross section of the shank part, okay, the cross section of the shank part means if we cut here the bolt or anywhere at the shank part, then we can see that the cross section is of circular shape. Okay, so let the shank dia is D. Okay, let the shank diameter is D. So the cross sectional area of the shank part will be the cross sectional area of the shank part of the bolt will be pi by 4 into d square, as the cross section is a circular shape. Okay, and then the here you can see, due to the presence of the thread, okay, due to the presence of the thread, here the diameter of the threaded part will be less than that of the shank part. So the net area of the threaded part, okay, so the threaded area, the cross sectional area of the threaded part is known as the net area of the bolt. Okay, so the net area of the bolt or the cross sectional area of the threaded part of the bolt will be 0.78 into pi by 4 into d square, which is less than that of the cross sectional area of the shank part. Okay, so the shank area will be pi by 4 d square, pi by 4 into d square, and the net area of the bolt is 0.78 into pi by 4 into d square. Okay, so mainly the bolts are used for the purpose of joining together pieces of metals having holes through which these are inserted, and the knots are tightened at the threaded ends. Okay, so first we make the holes in the members, then we insert the bolts, and the knots are tightened at the threaded ends. However, steel washers are usually provided under the bolt as well as under the knot to distribute the clamping pressure. Okay, so generally steel washers are also used to distribute the clamping pressure. So next, in this video you can see how the two steel members are joined by using the bolted connection. Then next we will learn about types of bolt. So there are three types of bolt which are commonly used. So first one is unfinished bolt or black bolt, second one is finished bolt or turned bolt, third one is high strength friction grip bolt or HSFG bolt. Okay, so first we will see about unfinished or black bolt. So the first point is these bolts are made from low carbon steel round rods with square or hexagonal head, and the shank is left unfinished or rough. Okay, so in the first lecture we have already studied that there are four types of structural steel. So first one is low carbon steel, second one is mild steel, third one is medium carbon steel, and fourth one is high carbon steel. Okay, so these unfinished or black bolt is made from low carbon steel, and in this case the bolt heads are usually of square or hexagonal shape. Okay, and the shank part is generally unfinished, so it is known as unfinished bolt. Okay, here you can see it is a unfinished bolt or black bolt, or we generally call as ordinary or common bolt. Okay, so here you can see the shank part is unfinished. Okay, the shank part is kept unfinished, so this is this type of bolt is known as unfinished or rough bolt or black bolt, as it is commonly used, so it is known as also common bolts. Okay, so second point is these are used for light structures subjected to static loads, but not recommended for structures subjected to vibration and fatigue. Let this is a steel member, this is another steel member, so we will join these two members by bolted connection. So we make a hole and insert the bolt in the hole. Okay, so we make the connection by using bolted connection. So as the shank part is unfinished or rough, so there is no proper contact between the bolt and the hole or the member. Okay, as the shank part is unfinished, so there is no proper contact between the bolt and the plate. Okay, so the connection is loose. Okay, so if these bolts will be used in the connection where the members are subjected to dynamic loads, then due to the vibration, the connection will be more loose. Okay, so these bolts are generally used in the members where the members are subjected to static load, because in case of static load there is no vibration due to the loading. So simply, as the shank part is unfinished, so there will be loose contact between the bolt and the plate, so this is not used for the dynamic loading. So this is used for any temporary structure, and for lightweight structure, and for static loading. Then next point is, in the joints made with such bolts, the force is transmitted through interlocking and hence are called bearing type of joint. So generally in case of unfinished or black bolts, the force is transmitted by the bearing and shearing. So let us understand what is bearing and shearing. Okay, so this is a steel plate and this is another steel plate. Okay, here the bolt is inserted in the hole for making the connection or to join these two steel members. Okay, let the load or the force is applied something like this way. Okay, so when the members are applied to such kind of loading, or when we will pull these two members, then the two members will slip at this surface. Okay, so first these two members will slip at this surface, and here the shear stress, and this surface here the shear stress will be exerted. Okay, after that here the bolt edge will be in contact with the edge of the hole of the plate. Okay, so in that case the edge of the hole will exert a pressure on the edge of the bolt, for which there will be bearing strength at the edge of the bolt. That means this is the bolt. Okay, so when we will pull these two members, okay, so first, due to this type of loading, first these two plates will slightly slip at this surface, for which a shear force, a shear stress will be exerted at this surface. Then after the slipping, this edge of the bolt will be in contact, or this edge of the bolt will be in contact with the edge of the hole. So the edge of the hole will exert some pressure on the edge of the bolt, and the bolt will exert some bearing strength. So in this way, by shearing and bearing, the force is transmitted from one member to another member. So the shear stress will be exerted in this surface, and the bearing strength will be exerted in this vertical edge. Okay, so by in this mechanism, the force is transmitted from one member to another member. Then the next point is mostly commonly used black bolt is of property class 4.6. So this property class I will explain later in this lecture only. Okay, so the next point is these bolts are designated as M16, M18, M20 like this way. Okay, so here M16 means the nominal diameter of the shank. Okay, the nominal diameter of the shank, and M stands for metric unit. Okay, so if in a question a bolt of M16 is given, then that means 16 is the nominal shank diameter. So here let a bolt of M16 is given, then the nominal shank dia is 16 mm, and here M stands for metric unit. So from this, the shank area of the bolt will be pi by 4 into 16 square, and the net area of the bolt will be 0.78 into pi by 4 into 16 square. Okay, so here M16, M18, M20 means the shank bolt dia is 16 mm or 80 mm or 18 mm or 20 mm. Okay, so then next we will see about the finished bolt or turned bolt. So the first point is these bolts are formed from mild steel hexagonal rods. Okay, so the unfinished bolt is made from low carbon steel, and here the finished bolt is made from mild steel only. Okay, and here also the bolt head is of hexagonal shape or circular shape, and here the shank pad is finished, so it is known as finished bolt or turned bolt. So in case of unfinished bolt, the shank pad is unfinished or rough, and here the finished and here in case of finished bolt, the shank pad is finished. Okay, so third point is these bolts are used for the structures subjected to dynamic loading. Okay, as here the shank pad is finished, so there is proper contact between the bolt and the plate. Okay, so the connection is more tight than that of the unfinished bolt. So these kind of bolts can be used in case of the members which are subjected to dynamic loading, as the connection is more tight due to the shank part is finished. Okay, due to the finished shank part, it can be used for the dynamic loading. Then next point is it ensures better bearing contact between the bolts and holes. Here also the force is transmitted from one member to another member by bearing and shearing action. Okay. So then next we will see about high strength friction grip bolt. Okay, so here the first point is these bolts are formed from high strength steel rods. Okay, so in case of unfinished bolt, they are formed from low carbon steel. Then in case of finished bolt, they are made up of mild steel, and here the high strength friction grip bolt are made from high strength steel rods. Okay, then the next point is the surface of the shank of these bolts is kept unfinished. Here also the shank part is unfinished. Okay, then the third point is these bolts are tightened until very high tensile stresses are developed using calibrated wrenches, so that the connected parts are clamped tightly together between bolt and knot head. Okay, so this is a steel member. This is a steel member and this is another steel member. Here is the bolt is inserted. Okay, so here the bolts are tightened by using some special methodology, by using calibrated wrenches, and these members are stressed up to high tensile strength or up to proof stress. Here the proof stress is 0.2 times of ultimate stress. Okay, so here as the connections are made by the special methodology and the connections are made more tight and the members are stressed up to high strength, so there will be high frictional resistance between the surface of the two plates. So when we will pull these two members, then this load is resisted by this high friction resistance between these two surfaces. So here the load is transmitted by and resisted by the high friction resistance. Okay, so the fourth point is this permits the loads to be transferred by friction, as here the connection is more tight and high frictional resistance is developed at the surface between the two plates, so there is no slip between the two members. So the load is transferred by the frictions but not by the shearing and bearing. Here in case of high strength friction grip bolt, shearing and bearing will not come into the picture. Okay, so the next point is these results into no slippage in joint, and the joints made with such bolts are known as slip critical joint, as the connection is more tight and due to the high frictional resistance between the surface of the two plates there will be no slippage between the two plates, so it is known as slip critical joint. Okay, then third point is these bolts are suitable for members subjected to dynamic loading, as the connection is more tight, so it can be used for the dynamic loading. Okay, so here you can see these are some HSFG bolts. Okay, then next we will see classification of bolts based on load transfer mechanism. Okay, so based on load transfer mechanism, bolted connections are of two types. First one is bearing type or slip critical connection, and second one is friction grip type or slip first one is bearing. So first one is bearing type or slip type connection. Okay, so here make a correction that here this is the slip connection, not slip critical connection. Okay, so first one is bearing type or slip connection, second one is friction grip type or slip critical connection. Okay, so as we have seen that in case of unfinished bolt and finished bolt, the force is transmitted by the bearing and shearing. Okay, so that is a example of bearing connection. And in case of high strength friction grip bolt, as the force is transmitted by friction only, so that is a example of friction grip type connection. Okay, so here bearing type of connection. So we have seen already that in case of bearing type of connection, the force is transmitted by bearing and shearing actions. So the unfinished bolts and finished bolts belong to this kind of connection. And in case of friction grip type of connection, due to the due to the tighted connection, the force is transferred by the friction between the members, and HSFG bolt is an example of friction grip type of connection. Then next we will see grade classification of bolts. Okay, so what do we mean by grade classification of bolts? Generally, from the grade classification or property class of bolts, we can know the strength of the bolt. Okay, so here the point is the grade classification of bolt is indicative of the strength of the material of the bolt. The two grades of bolts commonly used are 4.6 and 8.8. Okay, so generally two property classes are used, that is 4.6 and 8.8. So what do you mean by 4.6 and 8.8? Okay, so the property class or the grade of bolt is generally in the form of A dot B. Okay, A dot B. So here A is 1 by 100 into ultimate strength of bolt. Okay, here A is 1 by 100 into ultimate strength of bolt. So here we can calculate the ultimate strength of bolt as 100 into A. Okay, so here we can calculate the ultimate strength bolt as 100 into A. And B is yield strength of bolt divided by ultimate strength of bolt. Okay, and here you can calculate the yield strength of bolt as B into ultimate strength of bolt. Okay, so from the property class or from the grade of bolt, you can know the strength of the bolt. Okay, you can know the ultimate strength of bolt and the yield strength of the bolt. So for example, let a bolt of property class 4.6 is given. Okay, so here 4 means 1 by 100 into ultimate strength of bolt. So the ultimate strength of bolt will be 4 into 100, that is 400 Newton per mm square or megapascal. Okay, then the 0.6 is equal to, then here the 0.6 is equal to yield strength of the bolt divided by ultimate strength of the bolt. So here the yield strength of the bolt is 0.6 into ultimate strength of the bolt. Okay, ultimate strength of bolt we have calculated just recently, that is 400 MPa. So here the yield strength of the bolt is 240 MPa. Okay, so from the property class you can calculate the yield strength and ultimate strength of the bolt. Likewise, from the property class of 8.8 you can know the yield strength and the ultimate strength of the bolt. So this much all about today's class. In the next class we will see rest contents of the steel fasteners and connections. Okay, thank you.